packaging work order. The way you think of it is, think of the product template is anything that is not product specific. For example, which class is this product going to use, right? Anytime I have a class in Advisor, let's say I have 3 classes in Advisor, in Guardian, one of the PE will create 3 different product templates, each of them being a class that is going to be referring to in that Advisor. So think of China class, US class, and EU class. Class 101, 102, and 103. I will create 3 different product templates in Guardian. Okay? Each of them will have a name, China, EU, US. They will be pointing to things that doesn't change in that class. For example, how many packaging levels can class 101 handle, right? Let's say you configured item level and case only because it's China. You will put it into the product template that this class can only support item level and case, right? And then template number 2 would be item, bundle, case, and pallet because that's class 102. So those information don't need to come from the ERP via the XML anymore. All that they have to do is refer to one of the templates that's already created in Guardian, which is referring to one of the classes that's created in Advisor, which is giving me the ability to control which class the product goes to, right? So a master data product will be referencing one of the product templates that sits in Guardian and send me any product variables that I need for that product, which will then be merged with the product template that's sitting in Guardian, which will also be merged with the packaging work order to give you the entire picture of all the information that you need. So in a broader sense, product template will hold like 10% of the data that you need. Master data XML will hold like 80% of the data that you need. And then packaging work order will hold 10% more of data that you need. That gives you 100% of data that you need to start off. Why that is important is because of this situation where you have one site Guardian that's governing 4 different lines, for example, right? What I want to do is I want the ability to control which product works on which line, not only which class, but also in which line, because I have 4 lines, right? So what I would have to do then is to unify all of my class classifications across all of my lines in my site. So if I have 4 lines and I have China class for one of them and I have China class for another one that are exactly the same, I will create class 101 for the first line, class 101 again for the second line. By the third line, I will skip class 101 because it doesn't have a China. It can't run China. So I want to keep that class numbers unified across the site, across all of the lines. So PE will be planning, during the planning stage, they'll be doing this. They'll be unifying all of the classes, skipping some class because it doesn't apply to that. What it gives you the ability is to create templates for a class without specifying which line it is. So in my example, you can see that there are 3 different classes, class 1, class 2, and class 3. There are 4 different lines, and it's specifying which class will be configured in which line. So these are basically classes in individual advisors. Okay? Don't think of Sentry right now, but just think of advisor. Right? So in this example, I only have to create 3 different product templates in Guardian. Then I can control when a product comes in, which line it goes to and which class it uses when it is a master data product. That make sense? When you actually see it, it will make a little more sense. But the general idea is you have to unify the classes so that you can sort of organize from a template perspective and from master data perspective. Okay, that's your master data download. Now this shows you how our current setup could potentially work. You have all of these different areas where information comes from. SAP sends some stuff to Guardian. Guardian sends the serialization number to Advisor. Then MES sends some information to Advisor, and then you manually start it off, right? What master data and packaging work order can do for you is to make it very linear.
Can you share your screen? The card fade cannot see it.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Abir.
Sure.
Now you can have to describe it to us.
I have to duplicate my screen. All right, so what master data will do is make it a lot more linear, where every single piece of information that comes down to advisor, they all come down from Guardian and nowhere else. Okay? All right. So all of these are extra detail we don't have to go over because I'm going to do a demo anyway.
Amazing. Advisor, we're still going to add all the class and the stations to the camera.
Yes.
And everything.
Yes. Yes. Nothing changes there. Okay.
We're going to be able to do this at FATs with the Guardian laptops?
Yeah, you can, but it's a lot of, if they really want it, it's a good amount of work. It's a little painful.
So are we going to be controlling customers' Guardian now, or are they going to do that themselves?
No, they're going to have to do it. All right, so what I'm going to show you is a bunch of things, right? So this is an example of a virtual that has everything in one place. So just bear with me. You might see too many screens open, but it will make sense. All right, if you look at my if you look at my Guardian side, which is this right here, I don't know if you can see it, but there are 3 tabs under product page, yes? And they basically have the manual, which is the same product page that we currently have, right? Which you basically add a new product and you configure it. Then we have the master data tab, and then we have the master data template, okay? What I have here is I have a master data template created, and I called it China temp. And if you notice, I don't know how much you can see it, but if you notice, inside of the template, I have the ability to call out which advisor class this is that is going to be, okay, inside of my template. In addition to that, what I can also do is I can define which packaging level this particular class is able to do. So I put down carton level, for example, here. In addition, what I can do, I can also define which line this particular template will be able to run on. So by using the template, I pointed to a advisor class and I pointed to the line that this particular advisor class is in. Just by referring to this, just by creating this template. Okay. Now, if you look at my master data, I have a product called Alcon Test Product. Yes. If you look on my advisor, I have every single product disabled except for test product. Okay. So then I will go to the product page.
You need it on the.
You don't need it.
It's just a waste of effort.
Yeah, I will disable it.
Even if you disable it here, product settings switch, do you want to show it?
If it's connected, if it's configured correctly and everything is working, I may have modified something, but I have to check. But basically, you don't have to have any product here. Nothing crashed. Okay, I just created a new product. But let me show you something else. So you have a product screen, right, which will show the master data product. And a new screen will have to be added to show you the packaging work order screen, right? This packaging work order screen is also looking at Guardian, and it's finding all of the packaging work orders that are available in Guardian. So you see all of these packaging work orders that are available in Guardian here, 222, 333, 444, whatever, they're all here. For example, if I delete 2222, and then refresh, 2222 is gone, right? So what this gives you the ability to do is operators no longer actually start a lot by going to product and then selecting a product and then starting the lot. They essentially go to this screen. All of the packaging work orders is already there. Lot ID is already put in. A product is already selected. And you essentially select one of them and it will start the lot for you with all the data in already. So let's see how that works. So this is my master data, right? What you have to do is you have to set up a pickup location. Pickup location is a folder where whichever pickup location that you point at, it will constantly monitor that folder. If there's an XML file there, it will process it, okay? This is my pickup location that I configured. This tool here that I'm pointing at right now, this tool was created by software development to mimic as if ERP system is creating an XML file. So this is what the customer will be doing. Remember we talked about doing the mapping and creating an XML and pushing it down to a folder? That's what this tool is going to mimic. So this is more of a simulation than anything else, but customer will be doing it on their own.
They know that?
Hmm?
Do they know that?
So something is slow, but let me just see if I can restart the service so I can create an XML and we'll see the product show up.
For example, I'm not afraid we'll have to fit they had to learn stuff over there. Yes.
Okay. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm pointing to a template name, right? I'm giving it a product name. I'm putting some description, right? And I'm putting, I can fill in anything that I want here. And I'm putting some lock control variable, for example, unit gchin, bundle gchin, whatever I feel like I want to send down to for that product, right? I can even define which line I want this to be used. And the packaging level is saying
The customer will fill all this out?
yes. I'm basically creating the XML that the customer will be doing instead of us. Only thing we do is we do the data mapping of what needs to be where, and they fill all of this out. Okay. Let's see if everything is okay. So basically this tool is going to be dropping an XML file in this folder on the right. Okay. And then Guardian will process it. Process complete. That XML just showed up, right? And it's gone because Guardian processed it. Now let's see if there's an error or not. So when I go back to the master data product, I don't have a new product. So obviously there was an error. Here's my new error. It's saying specified number of packaging layers does not match the product template. Let's see how it's configured. Actually, I might be able to import an existing one. No, one second. The very last one. This is today. Specified number of packing layers does not.
Your parent type is none on your Guardian.
Try again.
We need to learn to do all this. Systech product we're having trouble.
Yeah.
There we need to help them figure this, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, with PE is what we can figure.
So we are there. PE is here, so we have to connect.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm putting some values in. It's coming in. However, it's complaining about the product template being different.
Also, everything in the product template has to match the class and build? Or
Essentially, when you create a product template, however way that product template is set up, that's how the XML is expecting to marry those two pieces of data together. Let's just get that going so we see the full picture of how it's supposed to work. But let's see. I should have a product here that works. Okay. All right. I'll create a different one. So I'll create a new product called FE test product. I'm going to use the CHN temp as the new template. Create the file. XML is sent into the folder. It gets processed. And I have a new item that is waiting for my approval. I say approve, and it updates the existing product with the new product name, which is FE test product. Make sense? And it shows up in advisor page. You can see every single product is disabled in Builder. They're all disabled, yes?
So this will be blank, right? With no products whatsoever.
When we configure it for master data only, there will be no products here, only classes.
So if you have a match string for one destination, how does that work?
It works no differently then. So when the
product thing, just product is not defined.
Yeah, because the lock control variables are class specific.
Yeah.
You're connecting to the lock control variable, which is in class. Product carries the value for that lock control variable, right? So when master data creates the product, it's mapping them to the lock control variables that are in class anyway. You just don't have a product here where you manually type them in. Because all of the lock control variables, they're in the class. I can go to every single one of them here. Yeah. So you connect the same way that you.
So it doesn't break anything.
No, it doesn't break anything.
Except that when something is wrong.
If you put something wrong, it's a process.
I can see
to get it changed. Yeah. But I'll create another product, right? I'll create. I'll call it. So I just created a second product in here. It's called the training test product, right? And when I go to my advisor, I have a second product show up that's called FE product, right? And whichever product that I create, it doesn't matter as long as I put in all of the lock control variables in it. Like in this one, I put a whole bunch of lock control variables, right? I put in UniGChin, KGChin, EXP. Basically, every single lock control variable that we have currently, whatever 89 or whatever, they will all be listed here. Each of them will have values in it. So the XML is sending all of those values to Guardian. Guardian is creating it, making it available to Advisor, and now you have all of those values that you normally would type that in. Okay? So that's master data, right? But let's look at how it all fits in together. So far, what I have is I have a product that is available in Advisor that is coming from Guardian, right? But this product still needs lot-specific information, right? That's where your packaging work order comes in. So packaging work order can essentially send you lot-specific information. So I have another tool to create the XML for packaging work order. So I'll be, this one is the new product that I created, training test product, right? It's called the FE product. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And I'll give a lot code of, I don't know, 98989898. And the packaging work order number will be 000054. Okay? And inside of the parameters, I'll put some stuff. Right? Whatever I want. I'll save it. I'll create it. Process is complete. I'll check to see if Guardian received it. And Guardian sure did. See number 54? Showed up with 989898. This is exactly what I sent here. See in my tool it shows you. And then now when I go to the packaging work order screen, oops, I went to the wrong screen. Packaging work order screen, I have 54 with 98989898. I can create another work order. I don't know, 56. Lot code is 747474. Boom, 56 showed up here. 56 showed up here. All the operators will have to do now is click on this. It's already referring to the right product, right? Which has all of the lock entry variable. All they do is click on this. Well, I don't have all of the parameters configured, so it's complaining, but you get the idea. All that they do is click on this, boom, it starts a lot with every single piece of data that we need.
So they will never use that product select screen at all.
They don't have to. But they're not restricted to it. If they didn't want to use packaging work order, they're okay. So they just use master data product, right? So product still sits in Guardian. They select the product just like before, and then type in anything else that is missing. Okay.
So you put like a lot ID.
A lot ID, yes,
Like 8 characters, it would still just be.
Yeah.
And you could do it this way, say if you're in a startup and you want to create a font library with all the different characters.
Yeah. I mean the ability is
well,
very
locked. So like over here, you got like lot 1, 2, 3, 4. It would always be 1, 2, 3, 4. It only has 1, 2, 3, 4 in my font library.
That's if you go through work order. If you just go through product select using master data, you can still start a lot, and then start a lot with all the rest of the numbers you need or letters you need or whatever.
So, but in the past, all of the functions are available. You know how in the past, when you have a product in Advisor, how does that product know which product in Guardian it is? How does it know?
G product class.
Okay. G product class ID made that connection. The second, you go with master data, those two are no longer needed because the product no longer sits in Advisor. It doesn't need to connect. It sits in Guardian. So G product class ID in master data is not needed, right? But it doesn't restrict you from not using it. You can have in the same setup, you can have 2 products that are in builder, right? Yeah, and you use G product and G product class ID. 2 products that are master data products that are not in builder, and then you could have 2 products that are using packaging work order, which is also a master data product. So you can have a combination of all 3 ways. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
So this is dependent on the customer what they want.
What they want.
So if I want to hear on this screen, I created a new one. It already existed. It was like another advisor created it.
So I have the ability to do all of that. I have the ability to show which line this particular packaging work order is going to be available in. So I have 4 different lines. You can see here, one of the items is the line name. If I don't put anything, that packaging work order will show up on every single line. If I put in a line name, it will only show up in that line.
And it could be duplicated.
Any way you want to configure it is flexible. So just like what we were saying before, we have 4 different lines, they're different classes in different places. You can configure which line this one is in, but not that one, stuff like that. And this ability, it could be like work orders can be created like a week ahead of time. And operators just go in and select the right one for that day. And then they run the lot and they go away. There's no, the data is all correct because it came from an ERP system, not from someone typing in. So that second signature is out the window.
Yeah.
The double blind is out the window. Scanning with the LCD is out the window. But you can see how powerful the ability is here. And it's actually pretty easy to set up. Technology is very simple, right? The XML file comes into a folder, Guardian processes it. But it's a lot of planning for the CPU. Because all of these data have to be mapped correctly. And then IT guys on their side will have to,
colonize. Yeah, there'll be some downtime for that.
That should be the IT guys usually.
And this is all documented.
Huh?
This is all documented.
Yes. So,
Alcon's using.
yes, Alcon is actually very familiar. They are very familiar with this. Alcon Barcelona. Yeah, Roger, the guy named Roger, IT guy, he developed their software that does this mapping already, sends the XML file in. But again, if you want to change just one little parameter, you can't do it. You have to go call him. Roger's the IT guy, he's never there. You have to call him, wait for him. You have to go in and change something in the thing. They have right now, I think, 4 lines.
I'm going there soon.
Well, you need to know that. That's all we use over there. He's your PE right there. So we have a packaging work order technical guide and a master data technical guide, right? The tools are in there. The only other thing I was going to show you is the XML. I mean, what you call Excel file. Yeah, just about finished it. No,
3 done.
No, then afterwards on the X,
4 is the what you want to call it? IpsScope.
That's right. Okay.
But we'll do it again.
Sorry.
Yeah. But we'll do this again when the other PDs come in.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
We can do it again.
I'll come back.
Okay.
I'll bear back for the other one.
Okay. Yes. No, a dog is your PD.
Oh, dog. Oh, I thought you were.
Hey guys, I just had a quick question. Just specifically how this was set up at Novartis Turret, because with their I guess they were using those ZPL files that they were using to kind of call upon the lot data. Were they using that as a substitute for the packaging work order?
No. No. What they have is something different. They have something called JISC. Right? JISC software creates the ZPL file on the fly. Okay. Instead of it being created, basically they automatically put the lot number EXP data inside of the file. Yeah. They put the right artwork, and then they create the file on the fly right when you start a lot, and they put it into a folder. Right? Yeah. Our job is to refer to that file with the lot number and the product name, naming convention. Because they use a naming convention, we use the same formula. And then if everything goes right, when I go to that folder, there's a file waiting for me when I start the lot. So that's different than packaging work order and master data. That is more sort of like what Rollbar does. Yes. It's like template management system, but not for bartender, but more for ZPL. But the software is actually pretty good. I mean, I saw how it works. It literally, you can see it if you in slow motion. It literally writes the ZPL code on the fly in like seconds. You see the line go, and it saves it, and boom, it pushes it into the folder. Like
You parse that file, the ZPL?
I mean, the software based on how
the TIP system doesn't.
No, it's not ours. They purchased the software.
Well, how do you get the data? You're saying that.
No, they create it at the start of the lot. They create the file. They put it into the folder where we are going to get it. And we both use the same file naming convention. So the lot number, underscore product name, underscore something, something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So basically,
So it works a lot like work.
That's Barcelona, right? Talking about?
if when you start pressing the start button, by the time it's ready to refer to the file is already there. It creates it on the fly.
Well, the thing that's there, and
They have something similar?
oh yeah, it's totally weird. I don't know. Gene sets it up. It's a whole third-party application moving on.
That's probably robot.
No, it's not. I forget what it's called.
Who?
Bayer Crop Science?
In BC.
Yeah, out in France, Lyon. So when we had small problems, Gene's like the only person who could jump in.
If these German people did that?
Yes. Yeah. I was there. Once isn't it? Yeah, you were there, that's right. Because you were there before.
Okay.
That's a cool one. It's strange though. It's out of my hands. It's one of them jobs.
That's one of those things. But also controlling them. You need to set it up.
When it's working, it's great. They work.
So, is this finished?
I just have one more thing. I have a meeting at 4:30, but
I have a
finish
question.
this up.
Yeah, quick question. So, what we're gonna do is this master data. We're still gonna configure the stations and build it the same way.
So from a field engineering perspective, only thing you have to do is know how it works. It should all be already configured by the PE and the customer. Actually, from a PE perspective, most of the work is not ours either. Most of the work is education, us telling them how it works, and all the work is on their end.
And they like it?
If they want the option, you got to put the work in. If you wanted the option, but it takes away from me manually creating a product in Guardian, manually creating an advisor, making all the locks and variables work. It's like, all right, this is how it works. Give it to me, and it works.
And now,
You saw how easy it was. You drop a file in, boom, everything is there. But the piece where I was putting the information in, that piece is with customer, not with us anymore.
For you, they're duplicate lines.
design.
Duplicate. I dropped line 1, I dropped line 2, they're identical. And the appointment line, basically, so if you're going forward with the new projects, it's already there.
Expect me to tell them how it works.
No, they actually know. They know. They know a lot. They know a lot. With master data, they know a lot. They got it.
On the job training?
Huh?
On the job training right there.
Field engineers, you just have to know that it works this way. Don't be like, I don't know why is the product not there? That's the worst thing you can do. You're like, man, the product screen is blank. There's no product in builder. So that's where the problem comes in. So because of Roger, right, the guy from Barcelona, we found a bug. Advisor still talks to Sentry the old method way. Yeah, you still have to create generic products in Sentry. Otherwise, Advisor doesn't know how to push it. Because you know the product that shows up in Advisor, that's the automatic product.
Right.
But Guardian doesn't send it to Sentry.
Know what other this product was in Sentry.
Yeah, there should be generic products in Sentry that Advisor is sending the information.
What class it to belong.
You just need one product per class in Sentry. Generic, not specific. Just one generic
So
product.
if they have 10 products, we have 10 classes in.
No, you can have 3 classes. Each class would have one product in it. The classes are configured the same way. You just can't not have any product in Sentry because Guardian is not sending that product. We put an enhancement request in already. So
how does the Sentry know which product it is though? Because I thought that the way that the Sentry does it now is via the product name or the product ID.
yeah, so Advisor will have a fixed value in it instead of it taking the product value. It will have a fixed value, which is the generic name of the Sentry product. So it's constantly updating the same product. It's not updating a different product.
Okay, I see.
It's updating the same product with new information in it.
Okay.
But you can't not have any product in Sentry like you can in Advisor. If you just add an advisor, builder could be empty. You still be able to run a lot.
And we do the archive the same way.
Yeah.
That's what we do now.
Yeah.
The archive.
Archives, configuration, same.
So
Everything.
basically nothing changes for us, in the sense that only that we don't see the product.
The product you will see as long as they're available in Guardian. And one thing I wanted to show was
We have a system like that here. Lab somewhere we can go play with.
well, for the PEs, this training is supposed to set it up like we all work do this together, like in their individual. We all get this working together in the training environment. If you want, I'll give you mine. It's all set up. You can just play around with it. But if I open a builder and for example, I will enable this product.
There's no use for that to enable product in building.
No. Not that you can't use it. You can still use a builder product as long as you have G product class and G product class ID, and you're referring to it like old methods. All of those methods are valid. Negative error again. You see the difference between the two products?
Oh.
The name.
One
Yeah. The product, the builder product has product. You see, the builder product has the product name versus the Guardian product has the G product class. You know what I put in normally in the G product class and G product class ID? See this pick, and then, oops, not that product. This pick, and then the product ID, that shows up as the product name. So you see the two on top has the pick 1212 and then pick 2222. That's basically your product ID and product class in Guardian. Versus the builder product has the product name. They are slightly different. When you just look at it, it's not evident. But if you really look at it, you'll see the naming convention is slightly different. One of them uses the G product class ID thing as the name, versus the other one uses the name as the name.
Are there any restrictions? How many templates you can put in master data field? Like
No. No restriction.
Do the printer files still have to live on the advisor?
Yes. Only thing you're sending is the file name and path. Anything that you put inside of the product parameters, that's all you. Master data is just taking away the product parameters from builder, moving into Guardian. That's all it is. Nothing else changes.
So you'll be collecting data all over the place.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
because like efficiently, they have like for instance some servers out on some location, and you have to get a piece of data, and you might not be able to.
I mean, for us, it's not our concern, right? Because that's what they want. What we're giving them is the system to automatically do this.
They started it. That's welcome.
Yeah. Barcelona is doing it, working in two of the lines, and the other two, he's doing the project right now. It works. It's a lot of work to map it all out, where it's going to come from, how it's going to, but after that, it's automatic.
Sending the feature, you're gonna fix the Sentry thing.
Yeah, so Guardian will also be sending product.
So they're gonna communicate.
SPT lot info will communicate. Basically, Guardian through advisors SPT lot info will talk to SPT lot info in Sentry and make that product appear on product page.
So we don't have to do a connection between Sentry and
The current, the station that we create,
yeah,
that will go away. That's the older method. That is the HTML method.
Alright.
When, I don't know, but they said that's what they're going to do. Otherwise you have to treat Sentry very differently, like old way, you know what I mean? The master data is very cool because it just shows up in Advisor. And then you have a sentry, and it's like, oh shit, it doesn't work. All right, so I literally have 13 more minutes because I have a meeting. So, how many of you use the IpsScope for anything?
I used it once.
Once?
I've used it a few times.
Really?
No, I don't.
What? Come on, man. You should be using it all day, every day, for every single, even when you don't need it.
Then
you
you
just
do
use
it.
it.
Then you do like cheese like
Yeah.
Then you
Timing.
have a lot of signal.
So I'm gonna just quickly go over that.
I have a lot of files that files.
I have some. Yeah. Leo, have you used it?
I've used it once or twice, that's it.
John?
I've seen it. I haven't used it.
So the IpsScope has the ability to make everything that's in the event log or in the Ips trait more visually pleasing, right? It basically puts anything that has a scope tag inside of the event log. So I'll show you. You know the event log that you always collect? The event log. Up there. So event log in our current setup has the ability to track 32,000 entries. So if you go all the way down, the very last number will be 32,000. After that, it's gonna overwrite stuff from the top again, right? So 32,000 is the amount of room it has, which gives it the log, the file size enough where it's supportable, right? So the event log, you don't really need the Ips trace, the other file, which you have to turn on and turn back off, right? Event log is constantly being monitored. As long as you have in Ips, you have the details option turned on, it's going to be logging every single event as a line item. So any line item that has a scope as one of the state, if you see the file, it has, some of them have items, some of them have transfers, you're going to see unknown, then you're going to see scope. Anything that has a scope tag, that particular event can be logged or can be viewed in a different way, which is what this IpsScope view gives you. So in the event log, anything that has a scope tag shows up. So scope tags are information that are events in Ips, like a VIC input going high, or a block running, or a VIC status block saying I did something else, right? So all of those are scope that can be plotted in a visually pleasing form like this. Then, if you know what your Ips stream looks like, for example, you have VIC input first, then you have get number block, then you have format block, then you have printer block, right? If you have that structure, you can turn on and off any of those Ips blocks by their name, and it will show you a scope view of that particular item running as it ran last several minutes, as long as you have in the event log. You know what I mean? So if the event log has 32,000 entries, and let's say you were really, really doing a lot of items, each item was creating, I don't know, 40 events, you can see how many events it will log inside of the event log before it runs out of room. So depending on what you're doing in a case packer, you can probably get last several hours of data in it.
The last time I used this
yeah.
was actually the Wyatt.
Yeah.
information I was saying, like some events will happen this time, and the guy with his PLC, he was saying it happened before. I said, no, for me it's happening like it happened first and then you come. He said, no, he's showing it first and then
That's exactly what this is for.
so how come his PLC is showing he sent me a trigger and then I said, no, I'm using like something was backwards.
Yeah, so if you track it correctly, our event is telling you the truth about how the IPS operates, right? IPS is no different than a PLC. PLC operates in a cycle, right? A Allen Bradley PLC has multiple runs. Every single run doesn't run constantly. They run in order, right? Number 1 to 10. It would run them and then it would go back up and run it again. That cycle time, let's say, is 500 milliseconds. We have the same thing in our VIC input. Our VIC, the hardware itself, it doesn't constantly pull for data, right? It doesn't constantly see if there's a voltage in my input, right? It does it in a cycle, right? Internal chip allows you to do a cycle when it checks that input again, right? And that cycle probably is, I don't know, let's say 300 milliseconds. You're running 300 millisecond cycle time here, running 500 millisecond cycle time there. Just by having 2 different cycle times, you will be off. Not taking into account any time loss that you had because of the path that it took to get to us, right? But if you look at the event log and you look at the time, you will notice the times when the event happens are grouped in a certain way. For example, you see this right here? This is showing 1944-28-597, right? That's in milliseconds. But look how many items actually ran within that same millisecond, right? There's no way those events actually took place in that exact millisecond, right? But that was the cycle time. So every single one of those items processed in that cycle. That's all that it's saying, right? So yes, there is a potential that PLC cycle time probably made it run a few milliseconds before this or after this. But our cycle time logged it in that time. And then you'll see a whole bunch of other events took place during the other cycle time, right? So you always have to take into account what the cycle time is and how this is behaving. But it's giving you raw data of what it saw. So when I look at this, I see on top case and feed vision result. And then I see the case result vision data valid, right? If I zoom into one of these items, if you really zoom into it, look how clear of a picture it gives you. Like it tells you exactly when the data value went high, when it went low. You can see the time difference, right? If you put your arrow into it, all the way at the bottom right-hand corner, it tells you what the time is, right? 3/16, 2016, 1940, 11, 629, and then if you highlight the area, it tells you how long that event was. So in here, it tells you 117 milliseconds. The information is so crucial in troubleshooting. Like you can literally look at this. It's like, I don't care what you're telling me. My VIC input went high during that time, went low during that time. So I don't care what you say. This is what happened. It's not me telling you. It's I'm seeing it on my. Yeah. So
I showed this to Grant, and they were like, they didn't want to change their PLC at all. And I showed them what was going on. They changed it. They ran for 4 days without a problem.
Yeah, you can use this, and if you can plot every single block by block, and you see which one is taking too long to process. You can take why this one is taking that long. It'll literally tell you exactly what it saw last several hours. You know what I mean?
But you can monitor data validity.
Yes. Data valid, yes. In an event, but if you go live, you cannot.
In the event,
Event, you can. Okay. It has all the data values.
you can show the data validity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Positive. Can you show it over here?
So if you look on the left,
Result line maybe, but I don't know.
yeah, but look on the left. On the left, you always have the post result, right? And it tells you the DV. DV0 is your data value.
Where is that on the plug?
So this is my data value. This is my vision result.
What version you have? I mean, that's the right version.
This is like the newest one. I'll send you the. It's in Lee Clark's. It's in Lee Clark's comment drive. Yeah, that's the newest one there. So I'm actually working with Lee Clark for him to, in addition to plotting this, he's going to plot the item serial number in the plot as well. Like if I know the serial number in this thing, I see the serial number was here, then it was there, then it was there. I mean, you can find out now by looking at this, looking at the time, and going to the event log. But if it was here, boom, there's nothing else that you need. Another thing I want to show you was, you see this number right here, right? Yep. So if you look at this value, that's your serial number that you know of, right? This is your GS1 value, right? You know that because it's on the carton. But look at the number that is here. This number is very, very crucial because this is your item.dna number. Remember how Gene was talking about an object is created, right? An object is created every single time IPS run. So that object has an ID or a fingerprint. It carries that. That's your item.dna. It carries that through the stream until it's done. Then it gets rid of it. So if you didn't have serial numbers, or if you were tracking what happened to your serial number, don't go by the serial number. Go find the item that you're talking about. Find the item number, which is this number. Now I can do Control-C, Control-F, paste that, and then do up, and keep on finding that number, which will tell me where that originated from and where that went. So you have a whole history of that item.dna going through the stream. What time it went there. So if you have an off sequence problem, right? You're trying to figure out how, this carton ended up on this wrong case. This is like super, super crucial. You can use that item.dna, keep on going up and see exactly when it started, right? Where it was, when it went somewhere else. Maybe a clear signal came in and boom, it left. It's no longer in the stream or something like that. You know what I mean? You can use this to literally draw a picture of what happened.
You never understood all this data here.
This data is like, boom, like, it's like, everything that happened.
Even from the beginning, we always collect it, email it to the PE, let him work with it. We never really analyze this, numbers. I use this in something we have just these numbers. I was getting some.
So I want to show you.
Might email it to PE and come back.
Yeah, just email and forget it.
So I have a meeting now, but I want to quickly show you this.
I'm listening. I hear him.
I'm listening to you say, nah, just throw it to the PE.
That's why you read all this stuff, Everybody got this information better. We need to work on it more. I never knew there's a DNA there. We can try.
So what time is it? 4:30.
I gotta go to the office.
It would be the post results, maybe. Post results.
And that's the vision for this.
Yes. No, this is the vision result.
This is the vision result.
This is the vision result block running.
So they're going, okay.
Yeah, this is the block itself running, and this is the
But you can
big output.
any other things, right?
Yeah, but.
Because you throw that to one of those.
This is fine. So your post result is the big output block. It's saying that I ran. Basically, vision result block is the first one. The second, the camera trigger, it processes everything, and then it sends to IPS. That's when this block runs. And then a whole bunch of stuff happens. And then the big output block runs, which is your data value, because that's when it raises the data value. Yeah, but you have to then look. You have to look at tab. If you're gonna be here, let me just check the meeting. I literally need 15 minutes.
I'll be back. You going to make it tomorrow or what? No, they canceled it. Oh, you canceled it? Lucky for you. I'm on my own then, I guess.
What are you going for?
Then we have a startup that's supposed to finish on Friday, so I'm going to go just make sure everything's good to go. No major issues. Everything I think is okay, so we'll find out tomorrow when I go. Hope so. Good seeing you. Charles, you leave tomorrow? Yeah, man. Actually, no, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but Friday. Alright, take care. I'll be here. Alright, take care, man. Next week. I wish. No, still Friday.
1 millimeter.
Oh, actually, no. What do you think? Especially that IpsScope stuff. I had no clue you could see like this. I know.
Alright, but now,
really go in there.
now,
and
really
really have signal timing.
So
It's
gonna be June.
yeah, or,
It's not the most true.
but what if we want,
Actually, they delayed the one. It was set for September, and now they're pushing the one to October.
Three of them last year, I remember the three happened.
well, I mean,
But yeah, we can go through all of
it
it.
has to be, I'm just saying you have to register to get it.
June, something else.